Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope everybody is having an awesome week thus far. Welcome Alamata, hi Gulzoda, hi Irfan. Good to see students in the class ready to learn. Everybody, this is an IELTS listening class. We are focusing on part 3 and part 4. Part 3 where a student talks to her professor about missing some classes. And then part 4 is a lecture on the famous dinosaur Tyrannosaurus Rex, often referred to as T-Rex. Welcome Carolina, our chat moderator. You will see Carolina in blue. She is here to help. If you have questions, let her know. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. The lesson today, like the listening exam, and the questions are coming from these websites. The listening is the same for the academic and the general. Mostly the reading and writing parts are different. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background. Click this big red button right there to join the premium version of the course. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. Costs around $30 to $50 US, depending on where you are. We're an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center, and I'm a certified British Council agent. I have been teaching, training, examining IELTS for 20 years or so. For the general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. Same idea, green background. Again, just click this big red button here and then fill out the form and you're good to go. Again, it is a one-time payment and we help thousands of students succeed on their IELTS exam every single month. All right, students, we're going to get into the listening pretty quick here. Just an FYI, if you are a premium user of the website, you should have received some Zoom links for Thursday and Friday. Premium students of the website get 2 extra lessons each week like this, live lessons through Zoom. They're smaller classes, more focused. Raichu, IDP and British Council IELTS, same idea, same concept, no difference. There is no difference in the difficulty. Okay. So if you don't have those Zoom links and you're a premium student, let me know. Send us an email. You can always reach me by email at adrian@aehelp.com for your questions, or admin@aehelp.com. You can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEhelp and GIELTShelp for tips and vocabulary. And you can download the apps and link them to the websites Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help in your app store on Android and Apple. Make sure you link those to the websites. And on the website, you can use the code REACH9 for a 10% discount. Apps, not so much. Okay, students, tomorrow we'll be speaking, and for premium users it will be task 2 writing on Thursday and more speaking on Friday. When you have some time in the day to improve your speaking, check out this speaking video and follow the speaking lessons. They're very, very useful, very popular. Now for some listening, everybody. So practice your active listening. We're going to do this listening test together. I will give you strategies afterwards. Just at the beginning here, for listening part 3 and part 4, really work hard to visualize. So see yourself as being there. Being in the audio. Imagine that you are the student talking to a professor. imagine that you are a person maybe riding a dinosaur. Okay. All right, students. So here we go with the listening. So again, this is the second exam in the book. So for those of you who do have access to the websites, aehelp.com, glshelp.com, you'll find this in the first exam book. So there are 6 exams. This is exam number 2. Okay. I'm going to put on my headset. Please answer the questions while you listen. You will only hear the audio once. And try not to put the answers into the chat, put them elsewhere so that we can all do it ourselves and then share after. Okay, let's hop back to the website and we'll log into the My Student account. Your My Student account, you've got your computer-based practice exams, full online interactive course, exams, workbooks, study plans, lots more. Here we're going to the audio CDs, CD 2, track 3, because it's test 2, part 3, which makes sense. All right, everybody, here we go.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear a student and her professor talking about their class. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Come in, Laura.
Thanks a lot for making the time to see me, Professor Gorman. As I mentioned in my email, I've been very ill this past week, and missing the first week of school is not a good way to start the term.
Indeed, it's not a very good start at all, but I think you can overcome it. You had a good grade in my course last term, and I'm sure this absence is just a bump in the road as far as this term goes. Now, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I don't even have a syllabus, so maybe you could give me one and then we could go over it in some detail.
Yes, that would be sensible. Let me grab your syllabus. Here you go. As you see, the class meets each Monday and Thursday from 10 to 11:30 in room A313 of the Juliet building. Do you know where that is?
Yes, the Juliet building is right next to the Student Union building, correct?
Yes, that's right. Okay, so next are my office hours. I hold them each Monday and Wednesday from 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon. If these do not work for you, feel free to send me an email and we can make arrangements to meet at another time. Now, let's discuss the books you'll need. As you see on the syllabus, there are 2 books you'll need for this course. You need not purchase either of them, however, as there are several copies of each available in the library.
I like keeping my books for future reference, so I would prefer to buy both books. Are they available in the bookshop?
The first one is, but the second one must be purchased from Buster's Books. Do you know where Buster's Books is located?
Roughly, but do you have an address?
Yes. The address is 3419 Young Street in Brighton.
Right, I know where that is. Do you know how much the books cost, approximately?
I think the one at the university bookshop is about £20 and the one at Buster's is about £15. So that's a total of £35 for the 2 of them.
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
Great. Can we talk a little about the coursework required?
Of course. There are 2 essays, 1 midterm exam and 1 final exam.
Wow, that's a lot of coursework.
Yes, but at this level I don't believe in just having one essay or one final exam determine your entire mark in a class. I like arranging it so that a student can have a chance to reflect on their ability and understanding of materials throughout the term.
That makes sense. So, what are the percentages associated with each assignment and exam?
The first essay is worth 15%, the second is worth 25%, the midterm exam is worth 20%, and the final exam is worth 40%. Would you like to talk about the first essay? It is due next Friday.
Yes, could we?
Of course. The essay should be approximately 1,500 words, and the topic must be chosen from the list.
And can I get a copy of the list?
There is one attached to your syllabus.
Right. So, do we have to tell you what topic we are writing on beforehand?
No, it's all right. You only have to notify me if you want to do a topic that is not on the list.
Right. Is the essay due in class, or can we submit it by email?
I will accept essays without penalty until midnight after the class it's due. So yes, you can submit it by email, hand it in during class, or submit it to the department office. If you submit it to the office, make sure to get a timestamp put on it so that I can be sure the paper was submitted on time. And also, be sure...
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, everybody. That is the end of section 3. And now we need to check our answers. Let's do that. We'll go through the answers together before we go to part 4. And just make sure we're all on the same page here when it comes to strategies and the best way to do this. Again, this is coming from our website, aehelp.com. Let's check it out. So let's give the answers together, and then I'll talk a little bit of strategy while we're doing this, okay? So the first question here is, why does the student go to see the professor? So what's the reason? Now, when we were listening, you saw me quickly kind of erase this because it's really hard to read these options quickly while the audio is going. It's easier for multiple choice to just write down some quick notes. So I would just write down like, she's ill. Okay, I caught that she said, oh, I've been ill, right? Okay, now then I look at the choices. She has been in the hospital. Did she say she was in the hospital? No, she didn't say that. She has been ill. She said that. And she registered late. She didn't say that, right? Okay, so clearly the answer is B. Okay, make sure you don't add information from your own thoughts. So don't automatically think, okay, she's in the hospital. We don't know that, right? Alamata Gulzoda Good Dalali says, yeah, it was B. She's been ill. Okay, now we go to the next one. So she missed some class. So they're looking at the class syllabus. For those of you going to university in Canada and the US, when your classes start, you always get this syllabus. A syllabus is basically like the skeleton or the outline for that class. Okay, and so when you have a table, pay close attention to the information in the table. Here the table is divided into 2 columns. Okay, the column on the left explains the column on the right. So here it says class times. So the class time is something and Thursday 10 to 11:30. So clearly this is a day. And Alamata says that answer should be Monday. Now Alamata, you're almost right, but you would get it wrong for one reason. What do you think that is? Why would you still get that wrong? Okay, it's very important because on the IELTS they're paying attention to this. So, what do you think? Arcana says And Alamada corrects Monday with a capital M. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. So it's Monday with a big M. Yeah, days are what's called proper nouns, so you have to use capitals. If you don't, you get it wrong. Be very careful with that, students. It's so sad to see students drop a band score or half band score because of this mistake of making that a small m. Okay, so just be super cautious. All right, the next one. So again, the left explains the right. So the location is some kind of building, room A313. Yeah, Alamada capitalization is crucial. So the location, it's some kind of a building. Now, it was the name. They didn't spell it. They don't always spell names in part 3, especially if it's a common name like Mike. They figure that a Band 8 or a Band 9 student would know how to spell those names. Yeah, Anshijot Wadwa. It's Juliet. There's the English way to spell it, Juliet. There's also the French way of spelling it with 2 T's and an E. It's okay as long as you get one of the correct spellings for that kind of a situation. It's not Julia, Delali, it's Juliet. Like Romeo and Juliet, the famous love story that plays out in, is that Venice? I think it's somewhere in Italy. All right, and so the Juliet building. Okay. All right. Again, capital letter. It's a name, right? So, okay. Rachu, on the next one, you're almost right. It's not a house. Okay. So here we have the days and the times. We just don't have the category for the left side. So what's the category here? What happens on Mondays and Wednesdays at 2:30 to 4? Okay. Raju, you have the first word correct. It is office something, but it's not office house. Anshat and Dalali, yeah, it's office hours. Office hours, 2 words. These do not have to be capitals. The O and the H can be small. Even though you see capitals here, they would give you these. See, this one's a small t. So they would give you these even if it's not capital, because these are just common nouns. So it's office hours. That's right, Golzoda. It's not class time, Darpan. Class time is up here, so be careful about that. Okay. All right, then they have a fairly extensive discussion about the required books. So it's very clear that there's 2 books. One's available at the bookshop in the library, in the university library. And then the other book is available somewhere else, and it's another name. They talk about this for a while. They mention it a few different ways and a few different points in the audio. For question 25, the cost of the book. Yeah, very good, Yutrui. And Drabums. Glzoda, it's 20. Yeah, it was 20 pounds. Remember, they said the total is 35 pounds, so you can kind of add those up, and it equals 35 pounds. All right, number 26. They said this name a few different times, and the idea with part 3 or part 4, when they repeat the name 3 or 4 times, is that you should be able to spell it. Okay, and saying it's not busted, it's not quite busted. Brums, yeah, it's busters. Busters. And usually with a name like that, as long as your spelling is pretty close, they'll probably give it to you. As long as it makes sense that you're saying Buster's. So it's Buster's Books. And of course with a capital. Very good. Brums. Very, very good. Yeah, absolutely. Buster's Books. B-U-S-T-E-R-S to show possession. That was a challenging one. That's like a band 8 or a band 9 question there in the listening. Okay, now the next question, and this happens, like sometimes you get one difficult question, then it's followed by an easier question, especially if you use logic. Students, logic is super important. Logic. For the IELTS exam. Here we have the titles of the coursework. So we've got one essay, we've got a second essay, a midterm exam. And question 28 and 27 can both be identified with logic, right? So usually a class will be 100% total. 15 plus 20 is 35, plus 40 is 75, right? So it makes sense, Golzoda and Brums, that this is 25. Because at 25%, and you don't need to put percent because they gave it that to you here, at 25%, it makes sense that it's 100, right? And then it's the same idea with the coursework. So we've got a first essay, second essay, midterm exam, and then what do you think is 28? That's right, you threw. He just like final exam, all capitals. Yeah, I'm just final exam. And it makes sense too because it's worth 40%, and usually final exams are weighed quite heavily in coursework. So if any of you did university, like in Canada, for example, you know that your final exams are worth a lot of marks, like 40%. Final exams are usually worth between 20, usually, all the way to 60% of your total mark. Okay. So you definitely want to do really well on those final exams. All right. Now we had a couple more questions. How long should the first assignment be approximately? What was the answer? Here you had to write 2 words to get it correct. I'm trying to remember the exact amount. Sing, unfortunately, you wouldn't get it wrong with just that one, but with the other one that you just wrote, yes, you would. Okay. So, Sing is like 1,500 words. 1,500 words. Yes, Sing. 1,500 words. Not 500 goals, though. 1,500 words. Yes. Very good. Very, very good. Yeah, you need both. The reason you need both is because, of course, the argument is that if you don't write words, then we don't know if you're talking about sentences or characters or pages or what. So it's 1,500 words. Right? IELTS is all about clear communication. 1,500 words. Just like that, Dalali. Absolutely. Sing's having a good laugh. He's like, yeah, I was like 1,500 words. 1,500 words. Okay. Now, yeah, you got to allow your brain to think through, right? And then that's why it's always good to review. So when you have that bit of time to read the questions again, you're like, how long should the first assignment be approximately? 1,500? 1,500 what? 1,500 words. Okay. Right? Even though it kind of makes sense that that's what it would be, you still have to write that down. Okay. This is an inference type question. So this type of question in the listening is called an inference type. It's basically where they give you a situation, and then maybe a couple of choices, and they describe the situation. Like here the professor's like, yeah, you can email your assignment, you can hand it in the class, you can hand it at the office, If you hand it in until midnight, all good. But if you hand it in after hours, you need to make sure it has a timestamp. If there's no timestamp, you're going to get a late penalty because I don't know when you handed it in. If it was in the morning, right? So he goes into this like big spiel. And anyway, so you're in the listening and then you're reading this. The student's class ends at 11:30 on the day the paper is due. Decide whether a paper handed in is on time or late. Write the correct letter A or B next to the question. Okay. A, the student receives a late penalty. B, the essay is on time, no penalty. And then here's the statement. The paper is handed in at 5 p.m. the same day, dropped off at the department office. Okay, the class ends at 11:30, and this is at 5 p.m., so it's handed in after class, right? With no timestamp received. Okay. The professor very clearly said you need a timestamp if it's handed in after class. So the correct answer here is Shishir. Very good. Shishir's like, that's going to get a late penalty. And you're right, it will. So the answer is B. Oh, sorry, A. Always pay attention and review, just like I did. The answer is A. The student receives a penalty. Sorry, Shishiri, I celebrated early. You got that one wrong. Same thing, Solomon. They get a penalty. You get a penalty. There's no timestamp. The student needed to get a timestamp. You have to pay attention. There's no word limit issue though, Singh. I don't know where you're getting that from. It doesn't say they wrote 2,000 words or anything. Right? Okay. So you have to really, like IELTS, especially in part 3 and part 4 for these questions, you really have to pay attention. Like you really have to focus on the details. And you're probably realizing that, oh, for the listening section, I also really need good reading skills. Like I have to be able to read this question quickly. Okay. Delali's like, yay, I got it right. But you didn't share it. Share it next time. Singh, I see what you're writing. Very nice. Singh says, sir, I gave the test recently. Got listening 8, reading 5, 6.5, writing 6.5. Very nice on the writing. I think I had word limit issue in part 2 where I got a penalty. How can I also improve my writing? Why do you think you had a word limit issue? Was it less than 250 words? If it's less than 250 words, then probably. But a 6.5 in writing is not bad, Singh. It's pretty good. It's actually the reading that I would focus on if I were you. The reading 5. That's a bit low, especially since you got listening 8, speaking 6.5. So focus on that reading, Singh Sab. Okay. All right. Shishiri, with multiple choice questions, again, students, so I'm just going to circle back to that. A lot of people have questions about that. Multiple choice questions, the trick is always don't pay attention to the questions. Focus on the question and try to get the answer. Okay, so here she clearly says that she's ill or she's being ill or sick, right? And then when you catch the answer, then you can figure it out. If you're just focusing on the choices, it's usually not very effective, at least not in the long run. Okay, Shishir, so you really have to listen for that. We'll practice this now in section 4. So let's do section 4 and then we'll add up our whole scores, okay? So here we go. Let's do this. Again, for those of you watching, we are using our websites, aehelp.com. This is the student account in aehelp.com where you got your computer-based practice tests, your full online academic course that goes through all the sections. You got lesson videos. You have, everybody, you've got 125 speaking interview examples in your premium package. What a great way to practice your speaking. So anyhow, let's go back to listening. Audio part 4. So CD2, here we go. Again, put your questions into a separate piece of paper.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a lecture about the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good evening, class. If you are registered for Anthropology 322, you are in the right place. Today we will be talking about the most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex as it is commonly referred to. This dinosaur has a fearsome reputation, mainly due to popular culture films and books. In this class we will be discussing the facts regarding the Tyrannosaurus rex, as opposed to its Hollywood depiction. Tyrannosaurus rex lived from approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time: a massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the Late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals, which often cast the T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, T-Rex did not come to be until 65 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. Tyrannosaurus rex was a meat-eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey or if it merely scavenged the prey of other dinosaurs. In our minds, we imagine T-Rex fighting to the death with other dinosaurs, but it is not known for sure whether this is the truth. Tyrannosaurus rex was a large dinosaur. Not nearly the largest, mind you, but still large by any standards of modern-day wildlife. The dinosaur's length was approximately 12 metres, its height could reach 6 metres, and it weighed anywhere between 5 and 7 tonnes. That weight is the equivalent of about 80 average-sized human beings. If humans had been around back then, we would have been the perfect size for an afternoon snack. The location of T-Rex fossils discovered is very interesting. They have been found in western North America, as far south as Texas and as far north as Alberta, and they have also been found in eastern Asia, mainly in Mongolia. How is this possible? How can fossils be found in such different regions of the world? The answer is what geologists call continental drift. The continents have not always been in the same location. They have shifted, and around the time of T-Rex, western North America and eastern Asia were connected. This explains perfectly the discovery of the fossils in the different locations. One of the more well-known interesting facts about Tyrannosaurus rex is that it had extremely short arms. They measured only about 1 metre long, which is very short when you consider the size of the dinosaur. To put such small arms in perspective, it would be as if humans had arms that measured only 10 centimetres. What use would they be? Well, that is one of the questions that has led scientists to believe that T-Rex was a scavenger and not a predator. It is very difficult to believe that it could have been an effective predator, with arms being so important for hunting. Another fact that leads scientists to believe T-Rex was a scavenger was its extremely strong sense of smell. This enabled T-Rex to smell carcasses over long distances, giving it a big advantage as a scavenger. On the other side of the argument, T-Rex had very large serrated teeth, which would have been perfect for tearing through the tough skin of other dinosaurs. If T-Rex was a pure scavenger, it may not have required such teeth. Another interesting point about their teeth was that they were replaceable over time. Unlike humans, who grow only 2 sets in a lifetime, T-Rex's teeth could be replaced over and over throughout a lifetime. Again, this is evidence that they were, at least in part, likely predatory.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Check those answers, students. That's the end of section 4. And that concludes your listening test. Now it's up to the examiners to mark it. Well, let's do that together. Let's check these answers together, and then we'll get the total combined score, especially if you were here last week. If you missed last week, that recording is on YouTube in the live class recordings or in the live presentations from last week, Tuesday. So same day, right? All right, so T-Rex. Legendary. Again, multiple choice. This one was a multiple choice. Which of these events happened 65 million years ago? T-Rex lived. Right? T-Rex lived. Roar. 65 million years ago. So Tyrannosaurus Rex came into existence. I don't know. I think they said it was like millions of years before. The dinosaurs became extinct. That one for sure. I mean, that's included in all the choices, so no question there. Right? Tyrannosaurus came into existence. I don't think so. Tyrannosaurus came into existence like way before then, I think, right? And then Tyrannosaurus Rex died out. Yeah, because it was a dinosaur. So if the dinosaurs died out, T-Rex died out. That just makes sense. Why did they die out? A large asteroid hit the Earth. Asteroid is a big space rock that goes. Thank goodness we are having some signs going into space programs to stop that from happening to us. So 1 for sure, 3 and 4. Correct answer? C. Okay. All right. Number 32. Tyrannosaurus Rex lived during which time? Those of you who like movies might get this one wrong, because in the movies it always says it's Jurassic, like Jurassic Park. But it's not. The answer was Cretaceous, the late Cretaceous period, so it was B. Okay, so the correct answers so far are C and B. See lots of answers coming up in the chat. Some of them are correct, some of them are wrong, but everybody's giving 100% effort, and that's awesome. Okay, so yeah, this one can come up, Ali. It's kind of like a multiple choice. You have to listen to multiple forms of information and then pick out which one's the right one. Okay, there are always some kind of unique questions on the IELTS. All right. So how tall? They don't say tall, they say high. They give you the length, and then they give you the height. The length is 12 meters, which is insane. It's just incredible that it would be that long. And then the height is 6 meters, which is also pretty insane. That's a big animal. Or dinosaur. Bird, I guess. Of the ancient kind. So it's 6 meters. Yeah, so B. All of you who said B and it's 6 meters, you got it correct. With little tiny arms. There you go. There's your dinosaur. Okay. At 34, the theory which explains why fossils are found in very different regions of the world is called... Now, this question, I mean, you need to have some vocabulary for this one, for sure. Solomon says it's continental drift. You're right, Solomon. It doesn't have to be capital. Continental drift. Continental drift. Very good. Muhammad Aziz says yes, continental drift is correct. Alexander Golzoda agree. Nice. Okay, and then we had a table. When you have tables, students always really pay attention to the headings. Evidence, implication. So evidence means the proof. Implication means like the use, like what you would use it for. And then, or the meaning, we can say implications like meaning. And then the conclusion, like what we understand from that. Okay, so the dinosaur is extremely short. Yeah, very good, short. Little tiny arms. Right? Extremely short arms. Arms are important for hunting, or so we think. Mind you, I mean, if your head is ginormous and you've got big teeth, it kind of makes up for those little arms, right? Birds don't really have big arms. They have wings, and they don't use them for hunting. They use their beaks, right? Those big, sharp beaks. So, why not the dinosaur? But anyway, I'm not an anthropologist or a dinosauriologist. I don't think that's a word. A dinosaur expert. But they say it's a scavenger. So it's the same word here for 36. Right? Paleontologist? I think it's a paleontologist is the dinosaur expert, right? Okay. Strong sense of smell. Good nose on that dinosaur, absolutely. Its giant head, its giant nose. Why not? Carolina, love it. Love the emoji. Very good. Strong sense of smell. So dead animals. It's the body of a deceased animal. It's a carcass. And it's able to detect carcasses from long distances. Muhammad Aziz, there's an S on that. Distances. Yeah, this was a tricky one. It had to be distances. Like that with an S. You can actually count distances. That's one distance. That's two distance. So when you're using the noun form like that, it can be distances. Able to detect carcasses from a long distance, right? There's no a here. So it has to be long distances. You can actually count distances, believe it or not. Yeah. So that again means it must be a scavenger. 38, yes, able to tear through tough skin. And if it's able to bite through tough skin, dead animals, skin's usually softer, but who knows? I mean, dinosaurs, right? Like, how long would it take a dinosaur's skin to actually get soft? It's huge. I think this animal is more of a scavenger. That's just me, though. Again, I'm no dinosaur expert. But it's, you know, like the expert will say, no, Adrian, you don't know anything about dinosaurs. You probably think dinosaurs were purple. I kind of do. But anyway, predator. Yeah. Yeah. So 39, predator. Very good, Thuy. Very good, Solomon. Party says pure scavenger. T-Rex was just a gentle beast. Everybody's got it wrong just because it had big teeth and an angry look. It was a gentle soul. It would read books to children if it lived today. Hello, children. I don't eat animals, only the ones that are dead. I love people. Maybe. Okay, and so the teeth. What was up with the teeth? They were replaceable. That's right. It was really nothing more than a giant hamster that lived millions of years ago with replaceable teeth. And here we are making all these movies where the poor thing is so aggressive. Replaceable, Solomon. Very nice. Can be replaced. Yep. There's an E in there. Replaceable. Okay. A giant, hairless hamster of the past. The beautiful, gentle T-Rex. Predator? I don't think so. But that can be a different discussion. Okay, students. having fun with your studies is a good idea. Just make sure you pay attention to all of your strategies. How did you do? What did you get on this listening exam? For those of you who were here last week as well, what did you get out of 40? What was your total score? On the website, we have a band score calculator for you. Okay. It is score calculator. You can calculate your score for free here. Okay. So if you're here last week too and this week as well and you got like a 34, then you got a 7.5. If you've got a 26, you got a 6.5. If you got 38, you got 8.5. 17 out of 20, Dalali, for section 3 and 4, or part 3 and 4 is really good. Okay, Muhammad Aziz, same thing. 16 out of 20 is really good. Muhayo, you're super duper welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Shishiri, 16 out of 19. It's out of 20, but 16 out of 20 is still very good. Okay. All right. Students, tomorrow we're going to do speaking. And for premium users, we're going to do task 2 writing and speaking on Zoom on Thursday and Friday. If you want to join those classes, everybody sign up for the premium course at ahelp.com and gltshelp.com. Those are our websites. They're the ones we were using in this listening. This is ahelp.com here. Again, just click the big red button to join the premium version. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. Yeah. Should be good. General IELTS students, gltshelp.com, green background. It's this website here. Okay. Once you sign up, if you want to join this week's live classes for Zoom, make sure that you send me an email, because I already sent out the newsletters with the links, so you won't be able to get them now. But if you send an email, we can just send you them individually. Okay. Muhammad Aziz says Farouza scores an 8.0. Okay. Oh, 37 Farouza. Yeah. We can check. I think it's an 8.5 actually. So it's at the bottom of the screen, the score calculator. 37, 8.5. It's not an 8.0, Muhammad Aziz. Yeah, 37 is really high. So Farouza, you get 8.5 there. Yeah. Golzoda, 33 and 7.5. Okay. Yeah, I think the 8 is from 35. Yeah, 35 and 36 are an 8 for the listening. Okay. All right, students. Great job. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the speaking class. For tomorrow's speaking class, we will use Zoom for some of it to speak to a few students and practice that speaking as well, okay? Carolina, thank you so much for helping to share the URL and for moderating the chat. That was really great. Thank you for the participation. There were lots of students. It was lovely to see all of you. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in British Columbia, and I hope all of you have an amazing rest of your day. Much love to all of you wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.